Hello, my name is Gerbsdale, and welcome to the Charm tutorial. First off, I'm just going to take this time to say Charm's not a data mining tool. We're using this to pull assets from the game to do art and other projects with them, and that's what it's intended for, not someone trying to figure out what's happening next in the story or what have you. With all that said, let's get started. So first off, you're going to want to go to the Destiny Model Rips Discord server, go to the Charm Tool help channel, and you're going to click on these links down in the bot comments. Now, this tutorial is probably going to be up for several years, so most likely this will be different depending on how far in advance you're watching this. I don't know, but yeah, you block. It's Microsoft. Okay, so you're going to download this, then you're going to go over here, and you're going to download these two files. This is your actual Charm build, and this is the Blender Importer add-on. And we're going to want both of these things. And once again, this is your Google Doc saying, don't data mine with this tool, obviously. So, yeah, there we go. Now let's just close out of this, close out of that, and continue on. So, if you have not run .NET 8.0, you're going to run that exe that it gave you. But since I already have it, I'm not going to. And we're just going to get that out of here. Next, let's just extract charm. Keep the zip as a zip. We'll need that later. That is if you're using Blender, but... Alright, now let's just run charm. Alright, so from the screen, first off, we're going to need to say which version of the game it is. And once again, this menu is obviously going to change over time. Sometimes down here might just be called latest, so whatever thing you've got, but this is what's currently supported. And so I'm just going to pick Edge of Fate, because that's what it is. And you are going to find your packages folder for Destiny. Now I've got this linked in my files because I do it all the time, but if you don't know what that is, just go to Steam or wherever, browse local files, and in your main Steam directory for Destiny, this is your packages folder. So you're just going to link that. Next, let's get our save path. I'll just do my normal one over here. And once again, yet another thing. We're not a data mining tool. Don't leak with this thing. We're just here to pull models to do art and other projects like that. All right. So now that we're here, I'm actually going to go back in here. So personally, I like to use TGA textures because they compress better, but you don't really need to worry about that. I'm just doing that for my own sake. So all that's good. If you want to do stuff with Sandbox and Unreal, technically there's support, but these are a little more abandoned than the Blender tools. All this is for Blender. So here is your main menu. We've got lots of things here, but I think what I'm going to go through is let's get the maps out of the way, then let's just kind of go through these one by one. So maps. This is the part I touch most of the time. So here you go. You got your list of every single activity in the game. One of the things that you're going to find, for example, like this is the Desert Perpetual raid. If I were to try to click on this right now, it's going to say redacted content, and that's because we have no encryption keys. Now, right now, I forgot I needed to do this too, so I've got to open Discord back up here. Go back over to DMR and go back to that pinned bot message. Down here, there's that third link, which is for the D2 encryption keys. And what this is, there you go. Here's your keys. Just going to download that. And what we're going to do is that we are just going to put this in the chunk directory like that. And this is not going to open the RAID thing, but what that is that there's certain game content locked behind extra keys, and with that file you can now access those things. So, let's pull, I don't know, let's pull Avalon, sure, why not? Alright, so in this menu, you just click on this, which is your main thing. Maybe I should choose one that has multiple loads so we can do that. So here's, oh right, Whisper also things. You can close tabs in the top with the middle click, by the way. EDZ ambient, sure. So the ambient thing is just every single package within, or every single load within a destination package. So here we have the entire of the EDZ. So let's just grab, I was going to choose Sunken, but I should choose one that's got, okay. Let's do Winding Cove. Sure, that'll kill my computer. The Pit. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so once you've chosen your things here, there's also the Resources tab, which the same thing, you can just pull whatever whatever entities and stuff you want. There's different dialogue you can get here, and every activity shows the dialogue. It's part of the reason why stuff's now locked behind it. You can find the music for an activity here, and I'll just like play whatever this is. Neat. Some quality music there. Thank you, Simple. Okay, so when you're exporting a map, usually you just want to hit the Export All button. And it's going to take a while. And if we check our outputs folder while this is happening, yeah, there you go. It's making all them textures. And just like that, we have our map exported. So now we're going to open up Blender. I'm a weird person that uses it in Steam, don't worry about it. And now, once we get Blender opened, we're going to want to go to our preferences. We're going to go for add-ons, install from disk, and scroll down, find the D2 Blender Importer add-on. There we go. Since it already installed, it kind of did an error, but you'll just see this and make sure that's like checkmarked. All right, so now you're just going to click on the Destiny 2 importer thing. Let's go to our map, and we're going to select these. So I'm very specifically not touching the decorators for now. You'll see why. Generally for maps, you're going to want to hit Combine Meshes, Show Terrain Die Maps, and Import Decal Planes. That's just my personal preference, but that's what you really want to do, at least for a map. So we just let that load, and it will take a little while. So all right. And so after a little bit of time, our map is exported. So yippee, there's a map. You look in here, and there's some fun little internals, and you got your things. And if we go into like material view, you'll see that nothing is set up. And that's very standard for maps because maps, we don't have any way of automation or anything. It's not easy. And if you really want to know how to do that, head over to the map tutorial and you can learn how I suffer. So, as well, you can pull the decorators and they'll get you the little small objects. I'm not doing that because there's a lot of them. And I'm just going to close out of here and continue on with the tutorial. So, moving on from your activities, let's go on to the API. This is the main one that a lot of people are going to use. And it takes a little while to load because Delta's made it really, really fancy these days. This is the biggest difference from the last time I made this tutorial. There is, yeah, proper icons and like different categories and stuff, but you know, we can also just search in. For example, I wanna pick the Edge Transit. There you go. And I can grab my Edge Transit. I hit export, and it exports it just the same. So let's open Blender again. I'm adding timestamps and all that, so I'm guessing a lot of people just skipped the map tutorial. So real quick, we're going to go over this again. Go to add-ons, go to install from disk, scroll down, you find your Blender importer, you add that. There you go, you can now import stuff for Destiny. So, Destiny importer, go to where you just output, and click on the config file. And just like that, we have our lovely Edge Transit. Now, if I go over here to the Materials tab and look at it, you can see that it's already generally set up. So that's because these days it already automatically puts in all of this stuff. So there is a chance that it won't be properly set up, such as this right here, which is the reticle. That's, not properly set up in the slightest. So what you're going to have to do from there is grab the reticle shader and do all that other fun stuff. And this tutorial is not covering that. There is a separate tutorial that goes into a lot more detail about setting up player gear like this. But generally, a lot of the time, if you're just doing it quick and dirty or what have you, you just import it like that. And it's most of the time fine. All right, let's close that. I think that's all I wanted to show in the API. As well, you can aggregate the output, which means that if I had pulled multiple things, like a whole set of armor, that would all get put into one config file. When you import it, it all imports at once. And that's really useful because, like, for armor, if you don't do that, you're just going to have, like, 14 skeletons for 14 different armor pieces. It's all a mess. So that's how we can avoid that. All right, closing out of here. Once again, you can close these tabs with the middle click. All right, named bags. So what that means is that this is entities, just like different entities, and some of them are named. So you can immediately skip to a lot of common entities and stuff like that. If you're grabbing like a standard like enemy or something, you can find them like this really quickly. Let's see. Like here, you know, unstoppable champions, overload minotaur. You can find a regional chest, stuff like that. And as well, if we go back here in the search bar, I don't know. Can I not search? Okay, I guess you can't do that, but you can search within things, I'm sure. But there you go. You can find a lot of things like that. But let's say you can't find your dynamics just from that. So we can go in here, and this gives you the whole thing. And it's going to take a while because it's got to catch all the names. So let's skip ahead. Hey, there we go. So, that took a little while. But this is, I mean, it's every activity and thing, so every single entity in the game, and there are a lot of them. And most of them are just random meshes and VFX things. It's just a cube. So you can find, any dynamic. And then same thing, if we go even further, you can grab every static. Personally, I've never seen any use for this, but it's here if you want it. You can find a lot of things. So let's go on to audio. Um, all sounds very straightforward. Neat. Okay, cool. Weapon audio, one of the most useful things that you can do here. Um, every single weapon in the game. I know a lot of people like asking for this in the audio channel in DMR, and this is where you could do this yourself. So we want barodiode audio. We can export all of the different sounds, and that's horrifying. Okay, so that's audio for you. Moving on, sound banks as well. If you want to pull entire like chunks of music at once, this is how you would do it. And of course, this is also going to take a while, so let's skip ahead. Right, that wasn't actually that long, but here you can find different things. Neat. You can do that. So there's once again certain things in here have um, sound effects. But if you're looking for sound effects, this might be the first place to check. It's obviously like internal dev names, but you might be able to find what you're looking for in here. And moving on, textures. This is another place where a lot of people might want to go because this includes some very important stuff like UI. I say immediately, there we go. So UI textures in here. You can find buffs, you can find the little banner things, weapon icons, what have you, they're here. Um, the ones that you really want to look for to get those UI textures are anything called client, and then also like investment globals is another one, things like that. But generally, it's straightforward. You just kind of click through until you stop seeing like actual object textures, and then there you go. Moving on, we have materials. This one, you're probably not going to get much use out of this until you get really into the weeds of setting up. Of course, I chose one with one texture, but like setting up different like maps and things. This might be useful to you. If you know HLSL, this is going to be useful. Um, and so you can grab your HLSL code here, which I believe you can just, yeah, you can just literally like copy paste it if you want. You can get your C buffers here, which might be useful. TFX stuff. This one is a bit more advanced than anything else, but still very useful if you are the kind of person that needs to go that deep. Then finally, collections. So, here we go. Now we've just got this menu. If you like seeing it like this, you can click here and like you can export from this menu, or you can just preview it and see what it's got. And this is absolutely just insane delta. What the hell? How have you managed to have all this time to do this? But, just like that, you can export. And then if you go back, which I think, oh yeah, there you go. Pull this, you can see shaders, what, like, this is crazy. But there you go. Uh-oh, that shouldn't be there. Okay, I think that's everything to show here, but this is another way to see your API stuff if you didn't want to click the API tab, but there you go. And that is Charm. Some common problems that I see coming up a lot is that, if it's at the start of a season, obviously there's a chance that Charm breaks with every update, but especially ones where they like are messing with the files and adding new content. If they rebuild the game, there's a lot of time where Charm just breaks. And when that happens, you just have to wait for Delta to come fix it. And usually we add our own artificial like spoiler embargo so that people don't get spoiled. Other things, if Charm doesn't open, or if you like double click it, it flashes something on the screen for a second and just immediately close. That means that the .NET version isn't right, so just make sure you've got the correct one. Let's see, what other problems do we have? Sometimes Charm doesn't export everything on the first try, so you just gotta hit that export all button or whatever multiple times to get it to actually export everything. Delta claims that this problem has been solved, but as someone who uses this all the time, it just comes back sometimes, so you just gotta like pull start it like a lawnmower and it'll work eventually. Um, I know that there are certain audio like exporting issues sometimes and other things like that, but generally, you can go to the Charm Help tab in DMR and do there. If you add a comment, I might see it eventually, but I know I don't check my YouTube channel that often, so don't necessarily ask all your questions in there because I won't be able to answer on time. So, yeah, that is everything that I think I need to say right now. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your ripping and pretend there's a cool outro.